Hello, I'm Elizabeth Bonker, Executive Director of Communication for All, a nonprofit with the mission to ensure all non-speakers with autism have access to communication and education. I am excited and honored to speak with you today about empowering non-speakers with communication, regulation, and education. We are talking about saving lives, and that is not hyperbole. Typing saved my friend Caden's life. You will hear his story, and directly from other typers who live happy and productive lives because they can communicate their thoughts and feelings. You are hearing a computer speak my words because I type to communicate. During my talk, when I say non-speakers, I include people who have minimal speech and those who may repeat words and phrases. And when I say typing, I include pointing to letters on a letterboard and pressing them on a keyboard. Please come with me on a journey into my world, and I will share with you how I gained access to communication and education, and the work we are doing at Communication for All to remove the obstacles that deny more than 99% of non-speakers these same human rights. There are tens of millions of adults and children who are depending on us to end the profound isolation they experience every day. You may have heard about my mission from my 2022 valedictorian commencement address from Rollins College. For me, I have a dream. Yes, just like Martin Luther King Jr., I have a dream. Communication for all. There are 31 million non-speakers with autism in the world who are locked in a silent cage. My life will be dedicated to relieving them from suffering in silence, and to giving them voices to choose their own way. That speech has 4 billion media impressions worldwide, and it propelled our mission for communication equality onto a global stage. Communication for All is part of a growing global community of respected partners. We are blessed to be working with non-speaking advocates and their families in India, including the All-Inclusive Foundation. Here is a short clip from the trailer of a beautiful film they inspired.
Adrift in a world of silence, we try to convey our thoughts wordlessly. Can you hear us? Living in an uncooperative body, our lips are tied, our hearts are calling for help. Can you hear us? If you come halfway, you'll hear our talking fingers. Speech is only one mode of communication, not a measure of intelligence. Arithric's tablet lets his thoughts flow freely. Each message a reminder that his disability does not define him. His thoughts do. They communicate, they connect, they thrive. Each of them strives to live a fulfilled life, breaking the barriers of silence with every word, every gesture, every smile. Navneet Kulkarni says, using different modes of communication, my fingers made me proud of myself. Like darkness is erased with the glimpse of light. Aditi Soumya Narayan says, voicing my opinion, making choices, and more importantly, communicating them is key to finding myself. I found my identity. Meet Tarun Paul Matthew. He isn't defined by his differences, but by his talents as a musician and a writer. Unlock the doors of our world. Bring in the light of communication. Bring in the warmth of understanding. Give us a means to communicate. Give us a life of dignity. Then you can hear our innermost thoughts. Then you can understand our enormous courage. Then you can realize that we are just like you. Our tongues are tied, but our fingers can talk. Are you listening? Are you listening?
Our mission is to help all non-speakers overcome their motor disorder so they all can have talking fingers. Apraxia in autism is well established in the scientific literature. This 2020 Simons Foundation Spark study estimated 87% of people with autism have difficulty with planned motor movements. That is why non-speakers need to be taught to type. Communication for All is working to break down the structural barriers that keep non-speakers without a means to communicate. Schools routinely give non-speaking students a so-called talker device, which is a tablet with a picture exchange communication system on it. These pictures are words that are selected for the child and represent basic needs, and not effective communication. We support using one of these devices for very young children, but every student age 5 and above should be given the opportunity to learn to type. Non-speakers have a lot more to say, and we need all 26 letters to do so. We are working to reach non-speakers in schools and homes around the world. But before we go there, I would like you to better understand what it feels like to live in a silent cage. I did speak. I was born perfectly healthy. I met all my developmental milestones and said words like ball and dog. Then at 15 months, all of my words were suddenly taken from me, and I started to scream and bang my head on the floor. My parents took me to Yale Medical School. And the doctors gave them the news. And little hope for the future. I started an intensive biomedical and educational program, but I still had no way of expressing even my most basic needs. At times, my frustration boiled over into self-injury. Yes, I started to hit myself. Quite an uncomfortable subject, but I want to dispel the myth that equates self-injury with intellectual disability. I struck myself because I was a thinking and feeling person locked in a silent cage. For more than a decade, I have worked to change the way the world sees non-speakers with autism. First, writing poetry for my book in 2011, and more recently writing song lyrics for an album. I believe music opens the heart so the head can listen, so I will be sprinkling a few clips of my songs into this talk. The civil rights movement showed how the power of music can unite us in a common cause. Here is a clip from a song where I reflect on the time before I could communicate, to try to give a voice to those who are still voiceless. The Bleeding Hearts wrote and performed the music, and legendary guitarist Tom Morello captures the chaos.
Step inside my silent cage. Can't you see I'm on a stage? The world says I can't think. It's pushed me to the brink. And they say I'm lost and dumb. The stairs say I'm less than scum. No voice, no choice, no thoughts, no brain. They think that I'm insane. Set me free. Please set me free. Free from anger and frustration. Free from boredom, cruelty. Free from lowered expectations. Free from futures I can't pick. Free from dejection and rejection. Free from fits of smashing rage. Free from pity and despair. Free from my silent
My life in a silent cage finally ended when my mother found my Annie Sullivan thanks to 60 Minutes. Yes, that 60 Minutes. A courageous Indian woman named Soma Mukhopadhyay in Austin, Texas had taught her own non-speaking son to communicate by pointing to letters. We were on the next flight. I was 5 years old. With my new ability to type, I was able to skip kindergarten and entered first grade. Here is a short segment from a PBS show about my journey.
Good morning, Elizabeth.
Because she can communicate, Elizabeth, accompanied by Terry, also attends a mainstream public school where she excels, especially in math.
Find the greatest common factor of 18 and 24.
Good girl.
You know the answer,
Her
huh?
teachers marvel at her performance and persistence.
She taught me about, patience, and I can't even begin to explain to you that I probably learned more from her than I have from anybody in life so far.
Being mainstreamed was not easy. These are the teachers who made it work. My first grade teacher, pictured on the right, saw how I didn't want to type at times, and she said, "I think she is bored," and nominated me for the enrichment program. Middle school was a black hole. With changing classes, my teachers didn't have a chance to get to know me. On top of that, I was exposed to a virus that compromised my immune system. Following middle school, I was accepted into the honors program at my local public high school, and due to health issues, I attended school by robot. Think of Zoom on wheels. The robot was in the classroom, and I was at home with my communication partner participating in the class. We moved to Florida in the summer before my junior year, so my brother Charles, who also has autism and can speak, could attend Rollins College, and I needed to transfer to a new high school. After finding no local private or public school that could wrap its head around a non-speaker taking college-level physics, I enrolled in Laurel Springs Academy, an online high school. After all, in an online school, everybody is a typer. Before we continue, I have something personal I would like to share with you. I am not special. Of course, my parents think I'm special, but please don't think my ability to type is special. Non-speakers around the world are showing us how capable they are. And to back up my claim, I would like to introduce you to some others who type to communicate. Meet Dan. He learned to type when he was 12 years old, and recently the New York Metropolitan Museum of Art made a video about his breakthrough based on the script he wrote.
Once I learned to spell at age 12, learning and new discoveries poured in. Before then, because my autism doesn't allow me to speak, except by computer voice synthesizer, I couldn't even tell my parents that I'd made the most important discovery of my life here at the Met.
What was Dan desperate to tell his parents when he first learned to type?
Get me out of special ed.
Sorry, special ed, we appreciate you, but you are wrong for most of us. Dan graduated with honors from Harvard University Extension School. Meet Anshil. He started to type at 19 and graduated from an all-typer high school in Tampa, Florida, and now attends Rollins College. What does Anshil want you to know?
Non-speaking does not equal non-thinking.
And now, one more student. Alex was 25 years old when he learned to type. Do you know what he is desperate to tell you?
It's never too late.
Yes, Alex, it's never too late to teach a non-speaking person to type. And now I would like to share with you what Communication for All is doing to make universal typing a reality for non-speakers with 3 strategic initiatives. C4A Academy uses technology to reach non-speakers around the world. In 2023, we launched C4A Academy, a program of internet-based instructional videos, written lessons, and expert support to teach typing to non-speakers anywhere, free of charge. We show families and schools how to coach non-speakers to reliably touch letters first on stencils, then letterboards, and finally on keyboards. This process takes time and practice, but it is so worth it to unlock a human being from their silent cage. We have so much to share with you. C4A Academy now includes 22 instructional videos, case studies, written lessons, a Facebook group with more than 1,600 members, resources, and support. We also offer cardboard stencil sets so families have access to all the tools they need to get started. Our first case study follows Leon's journey. Here is the trailer for his story. Meet Leon, a 6-year-old non-speaker who goes from not being able to sit still in a chair to typing his own thoughts in 6 months. See how Leon is coached to put a pencil in the large stencil letters and transitions to using his finger on a 26-letter board. You can see how he made this progress in his case study, now available on the Communication for All website. Teach your non-speaker to type with our free C4A Academy lessons. Parents, you can give your child a voice with C4A Academy. Our second strategic initiative is Regulation for All. I believe most non-speakers suffer dysregulation so severe that their bodies are constantly in fight or flight mode, making us feel like we are being chased by a tiger. Dysregulation makes it difficult for us to learn to type. I gave a presentation at the Medical Academy of Pediatric Special Needs Conference about how I worked with a scientist focused on my heart rate variability and natural interventions to get me out of fight or flight mode. That is what I want for all non-speakers. You can watch the entire presentation on our website. To achieve this goal, we have partnered with Dr. Elizabeth Torres, who leads the Sensory Motor Integration Lab at Rutgers University, to conduct a study with 40 non-speakers. We are grateful to the Hillebrand Foundation for funding this study. Our ultimate goal is to have an app based on HRV data that will glow red for fight or flight, green for safety, and yellow in between. When red or yellow, the app will suggest possible interventions to improve regulation. Better regulation means better typing and better quality of life. Our third strategic initiative is C4A Schools. We are piloting typing programs with innovative public and private schools. Our partners train the school's staff to teach their non-speaking students how to type. During our recent advocacy trips to Bangalore and Kolkata, we met with many schools and organizations that are eager to use the academy to teach their non-speaking students how to type. C4A schools create beacons in the educational community that light the way for every school to teach non-speaking students how to type. In the U.S., colleges including Harvard, UCLA, Rollins, Columbia, Vanderbilt and UC Berkeley are leading the way for the inclusion of non-speakers who type. Here you see a news clip about 2 typers, Hari Srinivasan and David Teplitz, graduating from Berkeley with honors. Our 3 strategic initiatives empower families and schools to give non-speakers a voice. Communication for All board member, Dan Bergman, knows the power of typing and shares the very beginning of his journey so you can understand what it feels like for us.
I am 12 years old. I think of it as the best day of my life, but here's how it started. Not an auspicious beginning. Notice that I won't even sit down in the chair where I am expected. However, a remarkable teacher whom I have never met before, takes my resistance in stride and eventually the camera operator gives up and swings over to me. That's me, sitting on my mother's lap screaming my head off. Now look what happens. I am asked to answer a question.
I'm nervous because now you're going to think about why you are nervous. Because I have to work? Or do you think it is a new place? It can be both, but which is more important? I have to work or it is a new place? It's a new place, that's right. Okay.
Let's look at it again more slowly. Soma did not rush to console me as anyone else in my world would have, but she also did not ignore my distress, she addressed it. And instead of telling me that I was okay, she asked me a question about my experience. She didn't say what's the matter because answering that would have been beyond me. Remember, I couldn't speak. Instead, she made 2 plausible guesses about what was bothering me, that I was in a new place or that I didn't want to work, and she gave me a choice. Very respectfully she said, it can be both, but which is more important? She assumed that I could make a judgment about which of 2 things was more important. No one, in all my history of special ed, had asked me to compare 2 ideas. Then she put answering the question within my physical ability by going up to me and holding the two pieces of paper far enough apart so I had to make a real choice and could answer with a very crude flap of my hand. And notice that I stop crying when I am considering and answering the question. Now, taking the answer I chose, Soma proceeds to show me how to spell it. We are spelling new place, and if you look very carefully you can see that by the time I get to the A, C, E in place, I am already scanning for the letters.
See, and place easy as that.
There is something else going on too. Soma and I are in a power struggle over whether or not I will sit down. She keeps trying and I keep refusing. So she uses that as the basis for the next question she is going to ask me.
What would you say? If I want to check on it. Sitting or standing? So I'm standing, we are going to spell standing.
And then we spell standing. To make it easier to spell, Soma is using boards with letter holes so big that it takes 3 of them to hold the whole alphabet. Half an hour later, I am sitting in the chair, and Soma shows me a board with the whole alphabet on it. And look at my smile when I see it. The letter board with the smaller holes is harder to use, but I'm smiling because I get it now. All the words I have been hearing all my life are made up of these letters, and the words I have been hearing are the same things as the words I have seen printed, which are the same things as the words I can now make myself by sticking the pencil into the holes.
Dan, thank you for sharing your insights with us. Non-speakers are gaining their rights as a result of decades of activism in the civil rights and disability rights movements. With our work, we stand on the shoulders of giants like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Helen Keller, and Judy Heumann. Judy was my cherished friend and mentor. Judy was known as the mother of disability rights for her 5 decades of leadership. Sadly, she passed away unexpectedly in March 2023. Judy's advocacy is central to the award-winning documentary, Crip Camp. I will miss her warm smile on our Sunday night Zoom calls, and I will do my best to carry on our work for communication equality. The blind have Braille and the deaf have sign language. Now is the time for non-speakers to have typing. I see how non-speakers suffer needlessly in silence. Communication is a basic human right. The world needs to change the way it sees non-speaking autism. It is a neuromotor disorder, not a cognitive one. In the U.S., non-speaking students are still routinely denied effective communication. Families are forced to spend years in litigation for their children to gain access to a keyboard or letterboard. Sometimes, the discrimination and attacks on us go even farther. Personally, I have struggled my whole life with not being heard or accepted. A story on the front page of our local newspaper reported how the principal at my high school told a staff member, "The retard can't be valedictorian." Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice." I would like to share with you how Communication for All is working toward justice for all non-speakers. We are building a grassroots coalition of typers and allies with action and media. Our website has extensive free resources for families and professionals. We partner with established autism organizations. As a member of Autism Society of Florida's board, I recently met with state legislators to advocate for cameras in the classroom and drowning prevention legislation. We use the power of film to tell our stories. The documentary, Spellers, premiered at the Phoenix Film Festival and won Best Documentary. You can watch Spellers on YouTube. It has created a tidal wave of new typers. Here is the trailer.
What if they've been wrong about every single one of them? What if they're all walking around without the ability to speak, but brilliant?
I am one of the lucky few non-speaking autistics who have been taught to type. That one critical intervention unlocked my mind from its silent cage, enabling me to communicate and to be educated. Our grassroots movement is building a strong and dedicated coalition to make communication for all a reality. Please join us. The research supporting our movement is summarized in this online report from United for Communication Choice, with more than 100 pages of abstracts of peer-reviewed research. One example is this pioneering eye tracking study from the University of Virginia and published in Nature in 2020, measured the speed, accuracy, timing, and visual fixation patterns of non-speakers as they pointed to letters they first select with their eyes. The study showed agency and authenticity in typer communication. Our movement for communication equality is at a tipping point. Typers are leading the revolution in communication and education. Our numbers are growing rapidly, fueled by parents presuming competence and taking the matter into their own hands. Communication transforms a non-speaker's life from hopeless to hopeful. At the beginning of this talk, I said typing saved my friend's life. Caden learned to type when he was 20 years old. He was featured in the Spellers movie at 21, and diagnosed with cancer throughout his body at 22. His doctors confirmed that typing saved his life because he told them about pain that only he could have known. Today, Caden is cancer-free and a Communication for All board member working for our mission. Communication saves bodies, minds, and spirits. That is why we are passionate that every non-speaker be given the opportunity to learn how to type. If you know someone who cannot use speech to communicate their thoughts and feelings with you, please go to our website and try C4A Academy. Just like Caden and all of these typers, your non-speaker can have a voice. Please join more than 60 members of our community as they celebrate and declare to the world.